Njoro. Kumbuka hapa ndipo unajifunza mambo mengi kuhusu ukulima. Kilimo ni uti wa mgongo wa nchi, na ukiwa na Njoro unajifunza. Kumbuka, angalia mwenyewe. Tunakuambia ukitaka kujua tips za ukulima, ungana na sisi kwenye Lookuptv. Every Sunday unatukuta pale saa 10, tunakuonesha kuhusu ukulima. Ukulima wa mimea, ukulima wa ng'ombe, ukulima wa kuku, ukulima wa mbuzi na yote ambayo yanahusiana na ukulima. Kumbuka nini? Kipindi ni Ukulima ni Mali.
If you want to have a proper outlook of the economy, then you have to speak to the wheels and gears of the integral businesses in the country.
And I want to be able to make the youths and everybody coming up in Kenya know that this is here locally.
Men and women in the thick of the bust of markets rising and falling, fighting to make their business decisions stick.
I've always lived in my career that I can never be late.
You need to train by yourself. You need to practice by yourself. Then from there you can compose yourself and give kind of services like this.
On season 2 of the Captain's Arena, we seek the inside of the minds, predict the shift in the markets, get inspiration to start, and make sense of it all.
Just watch what everybody else is doing and just make sure you're giving back to the society.
Oof. This is the Captain's Arena.
A very good evening to you. Many thanks for joining us right here on Lookup Weekend. Today being the 25th day of May 2024. My name is John Matava. We have a lot for you tonight, including President William Ruto jets back in the country after the 4-day visit in the United States, and that and much more will be coming to you. But first, the top stories. Tonight on Lookup Weekend, President William Ruto jets back into the country after his 4-day state visit to the United States.
I can confirm today, early hours around 4 a.m., we received a total of 8 patients from the Nkata RTA. So of the 8 patients, we were able to treat and discharge 1 patient.
5 people lose their lives after matatu they were traveling in rammed into a trailer at Miga along the Eldoret-Nairobi highway. And
nataka tuchukue nafasi hii pia tumpigie rais makofi kwa ile uongozi amepeleka pale Marekani, ambaye tumepata manufaa mingi katika Jamhuri ya Kenya.
DP Rigathi Gachagua maintains that Kenyan economy is on the right trajectory as it was President William Ruto's who was in Gishu backyard. Many thanks for joining us right here on Lookup Weekend. My name once again is John Matava. I'm glad you could join us. You can engage us on our socials at Lookuptv. Let us know what you think about our discussions. And of course, I'll be sampling some of the views as we continue with the broadcast. And now President William Ruto has arrived back in the country after the 4-day state visit to the United States, where he was hosted by his counterpart, that is Joe Biden. During the successful visit, he secured a multi-billion-dollar investment deals for Kenya. And now Ruto landed back into the country on Saturday night, and he was welcomed by the Interior Cabinet Secretary Kithure Kindiki and the head of public service, that is Felix Kosgei, top military officials and police as well. Our very own Edgar Wabwire starts our bulletin tonight with that particular story.
after his high-profile state visit in the United States of America, where he held several meetings with the US President Joe Biden, President William Ruto is expected to jet back in the country. President Ruto, who is in the second year of his 5-year term, has taken a different direction on international engagement and relations. His 5-day visit in the US demonstrates the country's readiness to embrace the West as a close ally in diplomatic and economic relations. This being a divergent from his predecessor President Uhuru Kenyatta and the late President Mwai Kibaki, who warmed up to the East. The visit also projects Kenya as a medium for the United States to communicate and advocate for international policies, especially those touching on the developing nations. It is in this light that Kenya, as an African country, has been at the forefront in pushing for the deployment of security officers for a peace mission initiative in Haiti in a program championed and funded by the US.
Believes that the responsibility of peace and security anywhere in the world, including in Haiti, is the collective responsibility of all nations and all peoples who believe in freedom, self-determination, democracy and justice. And it is the reason why Kenya took up this responsibility, because we have been participating in peacemaking and we have been participating in peacekeeping over the last 40 years in 47 countries, including very difficult neighborhoods like what we're going to face in Haiti.
You know, I'm very grateful for President Ruto's leadership here, multinational effort, but Kenya's willingness to really lead this matters.
Additionally, President Joe Biden has announced a revamped funding of billions of dollars into the World Bank and the IMF to lessen loan payment conditions in a bid to help struggling developing countries meet their repayment obligations.
Too many nations are forced to make a choice between development and debt, between investing in their people and paying back their creditors. So today we're launching what we're calling the Nairobi, Washington Vision. This initiative is going to bring together international financial institutions and nations from all around the world to mobilize more resources for countries saddled with debt, to open more opportunities to the private sector financing.
Apart from the diplomatic relations, this visit has enhanced business relations between Kenya and the US, with the Coca-Cola, Microsoft and other multinational technology companies promising to invest in the country. Edgar Wabwire for Lookuptv.
Many thanks, Edgar Wabwire. Indeed, an historic visit that holds goodies for the country. Away from that, Deputy President Rigathi Gachagua has commended churches in the country for being at the forefront of strengthening Kenya's economy. Speaking in Uasin Gishu County, he mentioned that hospitals and schools run by churches have greatly contributed to economic development, while urging them to collaborate effectively with the government for national prosperity. While attending the ordination of Reverend Monsignor John Lelei of the Catholic Diocese of Eldoret, Gachagua praised churches for their contribution to Kenya's economic improvement.
The role of the church in our schools, in running them, and also mentoring our young people and counseling them to grow up in a Christian way so that they can be responsible citizens. In a nutshell, allow me to say that the church and the state are one, and we serve the same people, and we ask the church to continue working with the state so that we can improve the lives of our people.
Gachagua also noted that all church-run hospitals and schools across the country have significantly contributed to the country's economy growth by providing medical care to Kenyans despite doctors' strike.
The Catholic mission hospitals across the country have played a very important role in providing health care for our people. Indeed, where we have challenges with the county government hospitals, sometimes they have no medicine, sometimes the doctors are on strike, sometimes there is this and that. The mission hospitals run by the church have come in very handy for the people of Kenya, and the President and the government of the Republic of Kenya want to pay special tribute to your leadership as our bishops for that service to the people of Kenya.
Additionally, Gachagua mentioned that the government has allocated 600 million to compensate dairy farmers in the region who have for a long time gone without pay.
Najua wale walipeleka maziwa kwa New KCC pesa yao ilikuwa imekwama. Jana tumewachilia shilingi milioni 600 na wakulima wote ambaye wamepeleka maziwa kwa New KCC watapata haki yao. Pia tuko na habari ya kwamba umevuna mahindi na mingi gali iko nyumbani. Tutafanya mpango kwa National Cereals and Produce Board, tuweke pesa tuweze kusanya mahindi ile iliyoko katika area hizi katika North Rift na kuingineko katika Jamhuri ya Kenya.
John Matava, Lookuptv. 5 people have lost their lives while 8 others sustained serious injuries following a road accident along the Eldoret-Nakuru highway on Saturday. The 3:30 a.m. incident that occurred between a 14-seater matatu and route from Nakuru from Eldoret collided head-on collision with a truck at Miga location that is in Nakuru County.
Around midnight.
Tulisafiri vizuri tukianzia Eldoret tukakuja vizuri kufika Salga. Tulikuwa tunakuja vizuri tukiongea gari and we were around 11 to 15. So kufika hapo hivi tukaona gari dereva.
Moving forward, the Agricultural Employers Association, that is EAE, has warned that the government, that is the agriculture sector, is staring at a danger due to failure by the government to pay over 12 billion Kenyan shillings VAT refunds owed to farmers. As Shamila Baraza now reports, the situation has been worsened by the ongoing rains in the country, and now that has wiped away produce worth millions of shillings amid plans by the government to increase some taxes by food commodities.
With one of the main agenda of Kenya Kwanza government being to ensure food security in the country, the Agricultural Sector Employers Union has warned that the sector is on the brink of collapse. According to the CEO Wesley Siele, the government owes farmers over 12 billion in VAT refunds, stating that this can be used to expand the sector and create more job opportunities.
The issue of the VAT refund to the exporters, you realize our members are mainly exporters to the European market. The VAT refund has not been done for a while. I think to a tune of 12 billion now still remains with the government. This is money that could be used to expand opportunities that will even create jobs. However, we haven't received the refund.
Speaking in Naivasha, CLA stated that the ongoing rains has caused massive destruction, raising fears of food security in future, while calling on the government to come up with a fund to caution farmers who had lost their produce after investing heavily on fertilizer, seeds and manpower.
The cereals, the maize farmers and the cereal growers, their product was submerged. The government probably needs to set up a fund that could help the agricultural sector again to revive, because as we talk now, a number of our members tell us that the production going forward is actually likely to drop because of the heavy rains.
Association Chairman Kirim Mpungu has indicated that they are not satisfied with some sections of the financial bill, which sought to introduce new taxes to farmers, noting that the sector is one of the economic drivers of the country, adding that the livestock sector have been forgotten despite its high potential.
One of the things that the members are keen to address is the various aspects of the finance bill, particularly 2024, that will affect their membership and their businesses going forward.
Shamila Baraza, Lookuptv.
Many thanks, Shamila Baraza. Away from that, as the floods continue to wreak havoc across the country, the president of the International Federation of Red Cross and Red Crescent Societies, Kate Forbes, visited the Tana River County to lend support to philanthropic actions. In a tour, she encountered the challenges faced by flood victims and commended the Kenya Red Cross Society for the great work they've been providing, the essentials such as shelter, clean water, and food transportation and safe havens for those affected. George Kayesi with the details.
The president of International Federation of Red Cross and Red Crescent Societies, Kate Forbes, landed in Tana Delta in Tana River County, where more than 10,000 households are grappling with the aftermath of devastating floods that wreak havoc across the country. Mother Nature's fury has affected 43 counties, with Tana River County bearing a significant portion of the brunt.
In the whole country, we have recorded 43 counties. 43 counties which have been affected significantly. And Tana River is one of the ones which have most affected. As at now, we have over 10,200 displaced households, of which 8,300 are within the Tana Delta.
In a visit aimed at assessing the dire impact of climate change, Kate Forbes encountered families affected by disaster in IDP camps, highlighting the urgent need for support. She lauded the Kenya Red Cross for their dedicated humanitarian efforts in supporting the victims.
I'm here in Kenya to look at the absolutely devastating impacts of climate change and how these forgotten crises are happening around the world, and to bring attention to those. And what I've seen today is resilience of people to, in the most dire circumstances, still love their children, want to feed their children, provide for a safe environment, what all of us mothers want. And that's been aided by the great work of the Kenyan Red Cross, providing food, transportation, safe water, and most importantly, a safe place to be. I'm so grateful for the work of the Kenyan Red Cross and what they've done here.
In the outskirts of Nyaborora village in Kitutu Church in North Kisii County, a troubling situation unfolds as perennial landslide ravaged the area, presenting a grim reality for villagers. Residents have urgently appealed to the national government seeking a lasting solution to this ongoing challenge.
Serikali itusaidie, tutoe hapa kwa sababu hapa hatujui, hatuna maisha. Hii maisha hapa hakuna. The ground here is completely destroyed. Na hata mashamba yetu tunalima imechukuliwa na maji.
During a distribution exercise of food and non-food items to the affected household, area lawmaker Jaffe Nyakundi announced his collective commitment with the national government to assist families impacted by landslide triggered by the ongoing heavy rains nationwide.
Mimi kama mbunge wao ninaendelea kuongea na serikali, kwa sababu niko katika serikali ya Kenya Kwanza, ili tuwatafutie shamba waweze kutoka hapa waende mahali kwingine. Na serikali imesema mahali popote unaona mporomoko wa udongo uweze kusonga, ili hiyo mporomoko iweze kukuaffect.
George Kayesi, Lookuptv.
And now the ICT, and that story by George Kayesi takes us on a short break right on Lookup Weekend. Stay with us if you can. We'll be coming back with some more stories for you, and of course some sports action.
If you want to have a proper outlook of the economy, then you have to speak to the wheels and gears of the integral businesses in the country.
And I want to be able to make the youths and everybody coming up in Kenya know that this is here locally.
Men and women in the thick of the bust of markets rising and falling, fighting to make their business decisions stick.
I've always lived in my career that I can never be late.
You need to train by yourself. You need to practice by yourself. Then from there you can compose yourself and give kind of services like this.
On season 2 of the Captain's Arena, we seek the inside of the minds, predict the shift in the markets, get inspiration to start, and make sense of it all.
Just watch what everybody else is doing and just make sure you're giving back to the society.
Oof. This as the Captain's Arena.
Ungana na mimi nikufundishe kuhusu ufugaji ama kuweka mbuzi wa maziwa.
Hauhitaji utafute kichaka ya kwenda kulisha mbuzi, utafute mtu wa kulisha. Unahitaji tu hiyo space yako kidogo uutilize vizuri katika zero grazing unit. Mbuzi anakula chakula kilicho kidogo sana ukikompea na ng'ombe ambao tunawafuga katika maboma zetu.
Nionyeshe mbuzi wa maziwa.
Mbuzi wa maziwa ni hawa wote vile unavyowaona.
Hii mapembe ndio mbuzi wa maziwa.
Na wacha nikwambie, nimeshangaa sana leo. Fura umeingia tu hivi pap na mbuzi wangu wamezaa. Pia kuna wale watu wako na shinda zao za mwili, kuna wale wa pressure na magonjwa mbalimbali katika mwili. Unahitaji kukunywa maziwa ya mbuzi ndio ikaweze kukusaidia na kuongeza immunity yako ikuje juu.
Hello and welcome back. Thank you so much for staying with us. ICT Cabinet Secretary Eliud Owalo has now emphasized that the government's intention to fight corruption, that is by using technology. And now, as our very own Jasmine Maina files, Owalo noted that thousands of government services are now online with plans underway to open over 1,000 digital centers for manufacturing.
Information Communication and the Digital Economy, Eliud Owalo, has reiterated the need to deploy digital technology to combating corruption among public servants, emphasizing the government's commitment to efficiency and transparency.
Moving forward, we now want to move away from the institutions themselves to the villages, working in partnerships with the honorable members of parliament, so that we set up a digital hub in each and every ward in this country. We are digitalizing all government services. When we came into government, only 350 services were available on the eCitizen platform. Today, as we speak, we have got a whopping 16,972 services which are now available virtually.
On his part, Bondo MP Gideon Ochanda has emphasized the importance of digital development in bringing positive change to society.
We are talking at hubs that we want to place in every ward. The movement to this institute, when we allow it to the population outside here, may be a challenge at one moment. We are negotiating to offer the entire, we are ready to move out from my office, the entire compound, the entire hall, and every facility that is there. I want to give it to you. Say that we offer it as a place where the youth in Bondo and Bondo town can idle at if they want to idle.
Nicholas Gumbo has called on the youth to be innovative in seeking wealth and advocating for a shift in mindset regarding employment. Gumbo further emphasized that the days of graduating from university and looking for a job are gone, and instead, youth should create their own job opportunities.
One of the things we must do now, especially the young generation, it is not enough. In our time, it was just enough to have a university degree. That was a guarantee to prosperity. You know that is not applicable now. I think you are all now moving this country forward. It's not just to learn skills, but to be active wealth creators.
Jasmine Maina, Lookuptv.
And now Kajiado County leaders have called on other leaders to ensure that each community in their counties maintain their cultural diversity. Speaking during the UN World for Cultural Diversity for Dialogue and Development celebration in Kajiado County, the leaders said the cultural diversity not only drives economic growth but also enriches people's intellectual, emotional, moral and spiritual lives. These and more stories on the News Wrap with Abby Kadenyi.
The Maasai community living in Kajiado County have been termed as one of the communities that maintain their culture,
Speaking during the United Nations Cultural Day, Kajiado County Deputy Governor Martin Moshisho said the celebration confirmed the commitment of Kajiado County in preserving and developing different cultures.
Hapa Kajiado ni county ambayo ni wenyeji wa kimila na tamaduni, haswa tamaduni za Kimaasai. Kwa hivyo tunasema asante sana.
Elsewhere, leaders and various stakeholders from Embu County have opposed the banning of Muguka trade in Mombasa and Kilifi counties. Mbeere North Member of Parliament Geoffrey Ruto has alleged that some drug dealers in Mombasa are worried that Muguka, a stimulant which is not a drug, is giving competition to hard drugs. He observed that the drug dealers are using the leaders to ban Muguka, adding that the community leaders will move to court to challenge the order.
Nyinyi viongozi wa Mombasa, nyinyi mumeuzia vijana wenyu madawa ya kulevya miaka nenda miaka rudi. Wakati Muguka imefika Mombasa, iko na bei ya chini kuliko yale madawa ambayo mnauzia vijana wenu. Ndio maana mizigo yenu ya madawa ya kulevya imeisha bei, imeisha soko pale Mombasa.
More than 1,000 IDPs from Nakuru County dispersed in the fights of 2007 are asking the government to resolve the promised land disputes. The victims of the post-elections violence have lamented that they have been forced to endure poverty over the years after they lost everything and fled for their lives. They called on the government to expedite the payment process, adding that whereas 40% of the victims received compensation, the great number were forgotten.
Miaka baadaye imepita na hakuna jambo ambalo limefanyika. Lakini tungeliomba the government ambayo iko ni ya Mheshimiwa Ruto, na yeye ndiye alilaunch kila kitu akiwa debut. Aweze kuangalia pale nyuma, aone zile ahadi ambazo alitoa ziwekwe kwa this financial year, watu wote waweze kukamilika na kitu kiweze kuisha.
Finally, laboratory officers from Bungoma County are asking for the party to be recognized at the central government level. According to them, they're neglected and undervalued by the Ministry of Health, which considers them as support workers despite their important role in health services. Bungoma Laboratory Officers Branch Secretary Stephen Nabeki explains their disappointment, emphasizing the disrespect and being referred to as a low group.
We want the government to recognize our union at a national level. We understand that at a branch level, that's at a county level, we have a recognition agreement with our employer, which is the county government of Bungoma. But the challenge is, there are some of the issues which we can, not all issues can be addressed by the county government. And therefore, the need for the Minister of Health to have a recognition agreement with our national office in Nairobi is quite important.
Ebi Kadini, Lookuptv.
Right, now switching gears to some sports action. The Kenya Police Bullets are the 2023-2024 FKF Women's Premier League champions after they defeated Zitex Sparks 6-2 in the penultimate round of the season. Kenya Police Bullets will play their final match of the season against Bunyore Starlet at the Mumboa grounds on June 26, 2024, where they will be officially crowned champions. In another, Higa Queens and Nakuru City Queens played out a goalless draw, securing second place for Vihiga Queens. Elsewhere, the Kibera Soccer ladies beat Bunyore Starlets 4-2 at the Kibit grounds, while Bungoma Queens defeated Wadadia 1-0 at Sangalo Institute grounds.
Unajua itakuwa tough match because unajua kwao ilikuwa ni season decider wako kwa hiyo title race, na kwetu pia ilikuwa game ya muhimu because pale relegation pia. So far so good, sijui matokeo yao wengine, so it was a tough match. Na our tactics kiasi zilikata kuwork the first because walikuwa so clinical utilize hizo chances zao. Yeah, na ndio maana wakatu beat. Tumejaribu ku come back kwa game second half, but pia wamekuwa clinical pia defensive wise, discipline. So we just have to accept that it was a tough match na result ndio hizo venye mnaona. Yeah.
Nasikia najisi vizuri, tunajisi vizuri kama timu. Tulijua inakuja lakini hatukujua inakuja mapema hivi. Tuko tumejipa wiki nyingine moja. bado tuko na possibility ya kuipata, na tukipata itakuwa poa, but nishasema hapa time and again, we are not going for anything individual, we are playing as a team, we are going for everything that will benefit team. Itakuwa poa sana wakipata, tutafurahi sana. They are working hard for it. Strikers wangu wanafunga, more than one person anafunga mabao kwa kila game, so
and now the national champions KCB volleyball team secured the spot in the Kenya Volleyball Federation National League semi-finals with a commanding 3-1 victory over the Kenya Army in the return leg match at Nyayo Indoor Arena. The Lionesses started strong, clinching the first two sets with scores of 25-17, 25-16, despite a setback in the third set with the Soldiers won 25-20. KCB rallied in the fourth set to seal their victory at 25-22. This win follows their earlier triumph in the first leg at Kasarani Stadium, where KCB swept Kenya Army 3-0 with set scores of 25-10, 25-15 and 25-18. The aggregate victory sends the team to the semi-finals, where they will face DCI in a two-leg match series on Friday and Saturday. And now Manchester United saved their best performance over mediocre season to the very best end as they upset Manchester City 2-1 in the FA Cup final on Saturday to deprive their rivals of the double. With speculation swelling about the future of manager Erik ten Hag, United ripped up from a form book as first half goals from teenagers Alejandro Garnacho and Kobe Maino proved enough for them to lift the trophy for the 13th time. They had to endure a second half siege, however, as City swarmed forward, and a late goal by Jeremy Doku set to nerve-shredding finale before United could celebrate at Wembley. And we call it a wrap right here on Lookup Weekend. Many thanks for joining us and watching this bulletin, and those that made the bulletin a success, we are saying thank you. And of course, some of the stories that made highlight today is among President William Ruto jetting back into the country, that is after the 4-day state visit, and of course with a lot of goodies that we continue unpacking you as we continue with the live broadcast right here on Lookup TV. My name is once again is John Matava. Please keep it Lookup TV. Please have a very fantastic weekend.
We value your feedback and welcome your